Hi, it's Teresa from Brighter Way Life. Now today I kind of want to do a bit of an accountability thing. Now, as you know, part of the things that Brian and I are trying to do is to get fit, to get stronger, and it's going pretty well, except I hit a slight snag a couple of months ago. I've had joint problems before and I'm immensely clumsy. For instance, a few years back I shattered an ankle. I didn't break the bone, but I just smushed everything else. And then a few years back I hurt my knees. Now, this is a long story, but you will see the relevance hopefully in a bit. Now, when I went to the doctors with my knees, well, I don't suppose I could have gone to the doctors without my knees. But anyway, I went to the doctors with my knees and it turned out it was ligaments or tendons or something. It wasn't the actual bones itself, it was the stringy bits. And I was a little bit surprised at the advice I was given. Now, I knew the one bit of advice I was going to be given was lose weight, so I kind of got in there with that first. But he did say, do you do any exercise? And I said, well, I'm a runner. Yeah, I know I don't look like a runner, but I run. I love running. Hated it at school, but love it now. And I was half expecting the doctor to say, oh, sorry madam, yeah, that's it. Your running days are over. But instead, he actually said, as soon as they stop hurting, get back out there. Because what you need to do is to get your knees strong. And that was kind of like light bulb moment for me, because the way to help support your joints is, and this seems now so obvious, is get them strong, exercise, build up the muscles around them, keep everything. And of course, then I got this problem with my foot, plantar fasciitis, which is not fun at all. Now basically, you have this sort of strip of tissue there which sort of stretches as you walk. Now, you pull that or even slightly tear it, you know about it. I don't know if you've ever read the Hans Christian Andersen version of The Little Mermaid, but there's a bit in it where after she's sold her voice to the sea witch for a pair of legs, she starts walking on land and describes every step as being like stepping on knives. And that is exactly what this feels like. Now, it's worse after rest. It's worse after doing a lot of exercise. And it's worse for those first few steps you take in the morning, so you end up staggering out of bed like John Wayne on a bender. But the reason for that is that it doesn't like being stretched. If it's swollen or it's hurting, the last thing it wants to do is stretch. It wants to stay flat, please. But unlike bones, which when you break them, and I've broken a few, you have to keep them still. Whereas tendons, ligaments, you can't keep them still, because you keep them still, they'll heal short. I found that with my shoulder and with my ankle. So you just keep gentle exercising. So here is my little to-do list. Now, this is accountability because I don't want to be in a year's time making another video of plantar fasciitis part 2. This time it's personal. Because then I invite any of you to say, oi, you said you were going to do a to-do list. You said you wanted accountability. What have you not been doing? So here is my little action plan for how I'm going to deal with this. Here we go. Step 1. No pun intended. Rest and ice your foot. Now rest, obviously, if anything's going to heal, it needs rest, it needs a chance to heal. It needs to be given the time. However, do be aware that it's after rest sometimes that it's going to hurt, because again, it's not going to like stretching afterwards. But it still needs to rest. So give it a little bit of gentle exercise, but no marathons, no 8-mile hikes, just keep it gentle. Now, icing is great because icing will help take out the inflammation. And one of the best ways of doing it, I'll just fill a bottle with water. Actually, this is defrosted. Fill a bottle with water, stick it in the freezer, and then just roller it out. I tell you, it feels really good. Now, the doctor's advice is about 20 minutes, 3 times a day, but make sure you have a sock on because full ice on bare skin is not nice. Step 2. This might seem counterintuitive, but keep your foot warm. Now there is always this thing of, well, why do you use ice and why do you use heat? Well, ice takes out the inflammation and heat, well, that encourages the blood flow to the area, and of course, increased blood flow within reason will help promote healing. And one thing I did forget to say is don't stretch your foot after you've iced it, because that way lies biggies. Okay, so at night, this is very, very unglamorous, but I use good old bed sock. And that just, again, keeps the heat in because it's the one time of day when you tend to have bare feet. Number 3, gentle stretching, and I mean gentle. Now, you need to stretch your foot slightly so it feels a little bit uncomfortable, but let's face it, searing pain is nobody's friend. Now, there are various ways of doing it. You can put your toes up against a wall because that will stretch that bit under the foot there. My favourite one is hanging perilously off the edge of a step because that also, trust me with my body weight, will stretch. And of course, it's things like good old, give it a little massage. I have some stuff called Dragon Balm, which is a vegan-friendly version of Tiger Balm, and massaging that in, all the wintergreen and camphor oils that are in that. Oh, it feels nice, it does feel nice. So, gentle stretching, help it not to heal short. 4, get yourself some anti-inflammatory foods. Now, not surprisingly, a lot of animal products are not inflammatory, they're inflammatory, whatever the word is. So get yourself lots of stuff like turmeric, stick it in a smoothie, make a latte with it, any of that sort of thing. Now if you do need to take painkillers with it, the advice I was given was do not take ibuprofen within the first 48 hours. Well, to be honest, by the time I'd realised that's what it was, the 48 hours had already gone. But it does say to take paracetamol, so there we go. Also, don't forget the icing and the heating will help as well. 5, wear shoes. I know, it sounds a bit weird, but wear shoes, but not only shoes, but the right kind of shoes. So, bye-bye flip-flop, my old friend. So, no pointy shoes, no high heels, no tight-fitting shoes. Now, with me, it's a bit of a problem finding shoes that are the right width because I have hobbit feet. But, there we go. Also, nice insoles with a bit of arch support because it doesn't matter if you've got high arches or low arches, you're still going to need support. Now, I'll show you these rather nifty. These are huge, I'm going to have to cut them down. These are some insoles I got. I got them from a popular chain of stores whose name begins with a W. Anybody who's British will know the one I mean. And this has got really nice, I'll take this plastic off. This has got really nice chunky support which will go under your arch and it will give you a nice bit of support around your heel. I do actually have some other ones I ordered online where this bit, this whole bit here is rigid, and that really helped in the initial phase of trying to do this. So, no flip-flops, no tight shoes. Sadly, you're stuck with trainers and sensible shoes for the time being, but it'll be worth it because my plan is not just to stop having plantar fasciitis, not just to heal it, but to get my foot stronger again so I can get out there and start running again. 6, be aware of how you're walking. Now, it's very easy when your foot's in pain to try and kind of tilt your foot or do something different in order to avoid the pain. But the problem is then you're setting problems all the way up through your knee, your hip, your back, possibly. So I was aware that one foot was walking fine and the other foot had a kind of a range of avoidance behaviours. So whereas my healthy foot was just heel to toe, like that, I found that my right foot with the plantar fasciitis was either walking on tiptoes all the time, or walking on the outside, or just slapping down. And trust me, that looks weird. It really does look weird. So even though you will slow yourself down by consciously doing this, if you've got into that bad habit, it will slow you down and it'll look weird, but so will a chronic limp. Step 7, you'll be glad to hear it's the last one. And it's a bit of an obvious one. Lose weight. Well, I was going to do that anyway. The trick is, get rid of some of the fat, build up the muscles, because if I do the right kind of exercises, I'll build up the muscles that will support those joints, which will make me stronger, which will make me a better runner, which means I can get running, which means I can lose weight. But in the meantime, I'll have to find some other aerobic exercise I can do, but I'm going to do it. So that's my 7-step plan for how I plan to sort this plantar fasciitis out. Remember, I don't want my foot just to get better, I want it to get betterer. I want it to be the best right foot I've ever had, and I want to get back out running. Now, if you've ever had plantar fasciitis and you've got some really helpful tips you can share, please leave them in the comments below. Now, don't forget, if you get any pain in your feet that doesn't sort itself out after a bit of massage or a bit of rest, go and see the doctor, because let's face it, your feet, you spend so much of your life on them. Treat them well. They're the only pair you've got. So, as with all our videos, like, subscribe, leave the comments, and if you haven't already, hit that bell. I'll see you in the next video. Okay, number 4. No, I'll try that again.